Thanks for joining us on TVC News at 7. We begin in Abuja, where the Court of Appeal has affirmed the judgment of the Federal High Court, Abuja, which set aside the Rivers State 800 billion naira budget passed by 5 members of the House, led by Edison Ehie. The court held that the presentation of the budget was a gross violation of the Constitution, saying the budget should be represented to the House of Assembly, led by Martin Amewule. The appellate court dismissed the appeal filed by the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, on grounds that it lacked merit. The court held that Governor Fubara had withdrawn his counter-affidavits at the lower court in the matter, and as such cannot commence an appeal on the said matter. The Federal High Court Abuja had in January ordered Governor Siminalayi Fubara to represent the budget to the legally constituted House of Assembly under Martin Amewule, Speaker of the Assembly. The development came after 25 of the lawmakers in the Assembly defected to the All Progressives Congress from the People's Democratic Party, with their seats declared vacant. In the meantime, a federal lawmaker and spokesman of the opposition coalition, Ikenga Ugochinyere, says the Court of Appeal did not decide on the legality of the decampment of the pro-Wike sacked lawmakers, which is still subject of the ongoing court process. While reacting to the Court of Appeal judgment, Mr. Ugochinyere said the decision was obtained by deceit of the pro-Wike sacked lawmakers without proper parties. According to him, there is still an ongoing legal battle on the illegality of their decampment, and Victor Okojumbo remains Speaker of the House.
Judgment does not change anything. Right Honorable Okojumbo remains the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. It will be appealed, but it's important to understand the deceitful and criminal mindset of these people. You go into a peace accord, you go secretly at the back, you continue the matter, even when other parties have withdrawn. So it's important that people know that Fubara has never been the aggressor. It is always the wicked group that they don't want peace, they don't want local government election, they don't want chairman to be sworn in, they don't want budget to be passed, they just want commotion and anarchy.
For more updates, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Salman Jawondo, joins me on the news. Good to have you join us on TVC News at 7. The Court of Appeal hinged its judgment on the fact that Governor Fubara had withdrawn his counter-affidavit at the lower court in the matter, and as such cannot commence an appeal on the said matter. What is your take about this judgment of the Court of Appeal, and what is its import on the political situation in Rivers State?
Thank you for having me. Good evening. I think from what the court said, having withdrawn his counter-affidavit at the lower court, it means he was already a party and voluntarily he withdrew. Now he cannot talk of appealing that judgment without the leave of the court. I'm sure he must not have, because for him to have appealed, he ought to have secured the leave of the court. But be that as it may, I think with this judgment now, the position is that the governor has an option either to comply with that judgment or to go on appeal and apply for stay of execution of that judgment, pending the determination of his appeal. But as at now, the position is that he has to represent that budget to the assembly led by the members or the speaker and the members who have defected from PDP to APC.
But what now is the fate of the other lawmakers who are led by Victor Okojumbo?
The fact is that they remain members of the assembly. They are still members because they have not defected. Their seats are not subject of litigation. Their seats are not subject of controversy. They are still members of the assembly. What that means is that by this judgment, they will still be part and parcel of the 28 members House of Assembly.
And the opposition lawmakers coalition led by Ikenga Ugochinyere has actually denounced this judgment. They believe that there is still an ongoing legal battle on the illegality of the decampment of the 27 lawmakers. Walk us through the modality of defection as stipulated by law.
You see, the law is very clear on defection of a parliamentarian from the party on which platform he was elected to another political party during the tenure of that election. Now, the law does not say you must go to court to get the seat declared vacant. In fact, what the law requires is that once you have defected, the announcement is made, or the speaker becomes aware. There's evidence before the speaker that so and so person has defected from the party upon which he was elected to another political party. The seat becomes automatically vacant. It does not require the intervention of any court to so declare it. It is for the speaker to declare that seat vacant immediately the evidence is produced or the person announces his defection, either by way of writing the house or even before the house itself. Now, that the lacuna we have in our law is that the law does not envisage a situation where the speaker himself will be involved in defection. I think the law overrated Nigerian politicians, that somebody who is supposed to be the leader of the house and therefore provide leadership will not defect. And that is where the problem lies in Rivers State situation. Because if the speaker has not been part of those who defected, I'm sure he will have instantly declared their seat vacant and accordingly inform INEC of the existence of the vacancies so that the INEC can start to prepare for another election. But this is a situation where the speaker is also involved, and that's why that speaker will not and did not and will still not inform the INEC that they have defected. But by and large, the Constitution does not require a formal pronouncement from court. It's only when you are now saying your defection is justified, as required by, in order as provided by law, that because of a division in your party. And this division has also been interpreted as far back as 1981, that division must be at the party, at the national level. It's not wrangling or fractionalization of the party at the state level. So the position of the law is that once a member defects, his seat becomes automatically vacant.
All right,
so the unfortunate situation is that it is not expected that a speaker will be involved.
All right, SAM, sir. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Salman Jawando, thank you so much for talking to us and giving us more perspective in this matter. Away from that, the hearing on the plea bargain application of billionaire kidnapper Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans, on Thursday suffered a setback due to his absence. The prosecution and Evans' co-defendant Joseph Emeka were also absent. When the case was called, the defense counsel Nelson Onyejaka informed the court that he was surprised that the prosecution and the first defendant's counsel were not present. He also said his client was still going with the plea bargain. Justice Adenike Kokas ordered that a production warrant be issued for the defendants and adjourned to the 21st of November for hearing of the plea bargain. The state prosecutor informed the court that the defendants had opted for a plea bargain. Evans and his co-defendant were to be rearranged on an amended 5 counts of murder, attempt to murder, conspiracy to commit felony to wit, kidnapping, and attempt to murder. And talking security, armed bandits have killed a police officer, abducted an expatriate, and scores of travelers, including some workers of a construction firm in Zamfara State. The incident occurred Thursday morning when the heavily armed men blocked the ever-busy Safe Funtua Road for several hours. One of the survivors told TVC News that the terrorists laid ambush on the road and shot any moving vehicles. A Toyota Jeep, according to him, carrying an expatriate, was among the vehicles attacked, and a policeman attached to the VIP was killed instantly. The expatriate and several other travelers were whisked away by the bandits to an unknown destination. A combined team of security operatives visited the scene after nearly 2 hours and cleared the road for mortuaries. This incident is coming barely 24 hours after the Ministry of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, relocated to Sokoto State in the quest for an end to banditry and kidnapping. And the Nigerian military authorities have thrown a challenge at the former agitator in the Niger Delta, Asari Dokubo, making reference to a comment by Mr. Dokubo threatening to bring down helicopter he claimed hovered over his premises during the local government election in Rivers State. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, says the former agitator should challenge troops in the front lines. Sifon Isian reports.
And bandit commanders across the country. They have taken out more than 300 terror group leaders in recent months.
Our operations have destroyed a substantial part of the combat capabilities and capacity of the terrorists, particularly their leadership. Importantly, we are increasingly making significant strides and progress through our operations across the country. For instance, another notorious terrorist leader was eliminated on the battlefield during the week. He was known as May Hijabi.
The military authorities acknowledge the enormity of the security challenges and efforts to quiet.
We fully understand the importance of momentum in warfare. We must sustain the momentum, and it is for this reason we take the fight to the terrorists.
I have the capacity to contain them.
Recent comments by former Niger Delta agitator Asari Dokubo, who threatened to bring down a military helicopter allegedly hovering over his premises during the local government election in Rivers State, also caught the attention of the military.
He doesn't have that capability, he's just blabbing. But I will allow the security forces that are responsible for handling such cases to take up the matter. Ours is come on the battlefield and we take you out. You should come on the battlefield.
The military insists a whole of society approach is required to tackle the security challenges in the country. Sifon Isian, TVC News, Abuja.